Are we recording?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. No, there's some questions I wanted to go over with you. But like I might have to paint the picture a little bit, because like I was doing a lot of mostly over the weekend. All I did was just deal with my son and do some stuff for him. And other than that, I just did a lot of reflecting and a lot of I felt pretty good, so I did a lot of reflecting, a lot of praying. But like since this COVID thing started, I've been like kind of like my head stuck in always in the truth movement all the time, 24/7, no breaks. It's hard to stay there all the time. But
Right.
I got this revelation about because I was thinking about creation, right, and like with the flat earth and finding out dinosaurs were a hoax, finding out uh so like things like that, like there never was a caveman. Things didn't progress the way we think they did. Like the people from the very beginning of creation were just as sophisticated and brilliant as they are today. In fact, maybe even more so, right? And so like we operate like with this worldview, most of us, right? And I'd say the majority of people, right? Um, like like operate from the worldview that like even though we know that like we know flat Earth, we know evolution's a lie, we know all this stuff, right? There's still that occasional memory. Oh yeah, back in the caveman days, or before they discovered certain things or before certain technologies were created. We have this linear view of reality is everything is like naturally formed and hard like a rock. That's reality. And there's a progression, a line, right, from then till now, right? but like
Okay.
but like this is where the revelation came into me, right? Is that and it's not that huge of a thing. It's just it hit me in a weird way, right? Where like not the Big Bang didn't create us. We're not a ball in space. Blah 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 blah. Right? We were intentionally created from the very beginning with names and a story and sophistication, right? From the beginning until the end. Now, some people living through this intentionally created story with every person being a character with a conclusion, right? Intentionally and lovingly made uh, with free will, but it's a created story already written. For us, it's written. The book is done, right? But for some people that lived through, it wasn't complete. And they'd have half of it done, or so many books were complete. We have the benefit of knowing the whole story beginning to end, right?
Yep.
And even what's going to happen and how we were reconciled and all that. And this is especially for the people that, because I heard one guy say, somebody who said, they go, it's hard for me to believe that salvation is you just believe and have faith in Jesus and his sacrifice, and that's it. And the guy said that's absurd, and I'm like, what do you mean that's it? Like, like if the sacrifice of God Himself isn't enough to get us into heaven, right? But something you do is going to be good enough, then that's insane, right? That's insane. It's bought and paid for by the highest thing you can have to give, which is God Himself,
The
right?
creator himself, absolutely.
Right. And so now this is the trip, right? Is that the story's done? I'm a character in a story. Like my reality only exists in what God wrote for me. I have free will and free choice of to follow Him or not follow Him. But my only purpose is to be in this story, not to achieve anything, not to not to I mean, I can achieve stuff or whatever, but I'm here for the story. Now it's up to me whether or not I'm going to be, what type of character I'm going to be, and God will work on my character as I go. Is if I ask him, he'll help me. If not, he won't. But I'm wondering if you only see that, like, so like as truthers, right? Because there's never like me and my brother are truthers, me and my brother and my mom, it's always like, well, like one person in a family or one person in a friend group. I wonder if we're outside the story and we're free from it because we know the truth, and we see that it's so much fake stuff and so many hoaxes and so much stuff to where it can't be reality and people in on conspiracies and all. It can't be. It's just too much stuff that's fake and contrived, that it can only be a story. You know what I mean? Like
No,
life
I
itself.
don't. No.
So how explain what your take is on it. Like,
Well, how is it fake if it's being
not
played
fake,
out? It's
not
real.
not fake, but like,
Well, when you use the word
okay,
fake, I have no other way to take it but
okay,
fake.
this is what
I
I mean.
mean, these players,
No, this is what I mean. This is what I mean. Let me clarify. When I say fake, I mean like to to somebody in the story, dinosaurs may be real, and the Earth, they think this stuff. They're in that story, but when they know the truth and they're outside of it, they see, oh, that's not real. That's not real. That looks contrived. That looks like a hoax. That is a setup. These are obvious things that you can point out and teach somebody, right? I'm not
yep,
saying fake, but written, prepared. There's like the future is not as wide open as we think it is. It's we're in a story. There's very very little leeway. You know, you know what I
okay,
mean?
yeah,
Like God is the hero. God created us. We messed it up. There's a villain. Spiritual creatures fell. They're villains. God came and reconciled everything as like our hero and saved us, and He's going to call us up in the end when things are getting bad. But it's nothing to be afraid of, because and it might be painful and it might be hard to go through, but it's already written in that we were going to be saved, and her, what I mean? Like, it's not nothing to be scared of. It's just part of the story, you know?
well, if your eyes are open and you see that, absolutely. These people, but you got to understand those people that are spreading these lies, they don't see it that way. They're trying to change the end of the story. They
Right,
know it. Satan knows the end. He knows his end, right?
right. Yeah.
He can't change it, but he's going to take as many with him as he can. I mean, it's all real. It's all going to happen just because I mean, the book has been written. It just
Yeah.
hasn't been fully played out yet. But the last scene has started.
But do you think it's different for the people that are stuck in the narrative than it is for us that can see it from the outside? Like, wow, that's
Meaning what?
obviously
Meaning
like
what?
like say we're watching the news, you're like, wow, that's obviously a crisis actor. That's obviously not a real thing. These people are obviously lying. Like the spinning ball is obviously not true. But when I was stuck in the narrative, the spinning ball seemed like it was it
Well, what do
seemed
you mean by
plausible.
different for them than it is for us? I mean, I
So
don't know what
so
point you're trying
as
to make there.
okay,
I mean,
okay,
we
now,
see the truth and they don't. I mean, I get that. I don't know what
right,
point
right,
you're making.
right. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Like when you're in it, when you're in the narrative, right?
Everybody's in it.
Maybe, but yeah, but maybe they don't see the truth like we see it.
Well,
You
obviously
see?
not. That's obvious. I don't.
But like if you and me were watching the news, we would be able to say, "Hey, that's a crisis actor," and you would be like, "Yeah, that is a crisis actor." Like, we obviously see it, but they don't. Even though they're looking at what we're looking at, they don't see it.
I don't know. They're the ones that are hiring the crisis actors.
No, no, no. I'm saying, like, let's say you, me, and say my brother, right, are together. We're watching the news, right, and we see like a crisis actor doing like a COVID, fake COVID thing.
Right. People
It's
believe the
obvious,
lie. I get that.
right, right. Like, do
I
they see
agree.
it different than us? Like, can I remove him out of the story, or does God only remove a certain amount of us to warn the people?
What do you mean remove him out of the story? He's in it.
He's okay.
Everybody
So
alive is in
okay,
it, bro.
okay,
Uh,
we're all in the story. We're all
how?
in
Why would
creation.
you remove him?
No, no, no. We're all in creation, right? We're all in creation. We can't escape it. We're in it, right? I'm not saying that. This is what I'm saying, right? It's hard to explain, but like to my mom, right? She's watching TV. That's real to her. The COVID thing, she believes that.
Right.
Like when she sees these crisis actors, she sees a person that is sick.
Right.
Like we're like to us,
So
it's
what are you
obvious.
saying then? I mean, I get that. You've gone over that 5 different ways. I
Right.
understand that.
Could I get her to be separate like we are, where we can see that it's obviously fake? I
I don't know
mean,
if you can or not. That's up to her.
or
I
does
mean, she
God
has to
only
open up her mind, and
or
that's
does
between
God
her and
only
God. I mean, you have if you had anything to do with it, she'd already know the truth.
right. That's what I'm saying. So like that's exactly what I'm saying. So like does God only remove a certain amount of us to like warn everyone? Like hey, look,
He'll
the
wake
end
up
is coming.
anybody that
Not to
wants
wake
to
them
be
up,
awoke.
but just to get them ready. Just to get them ready for okay. Look, it looks like the time is coming to an end, and it's time to get serious about God. And we should, just encourage people. Maybe not so much try to show them the truth or pull them out of the lies or whatever, but just like encourage them to get closer to God and
That's
be
what a
that
Christian should be doing to everybody every day.
Yeah, because the reason why I thought this, right, or came to this kind of idea, right, is because like there's so many prophets, right, that were. I'm not calling us prophets, right, by any means, but there's so many prophets where like the people just didn't listen to them, like oh
Exactly.
yeah, right, but like is that kind of like the role that like say a certain corner of us are truthers and like that's kind of the role we have. We're going to warn the people, but they're going to not believe us. Like oh, that's not going to happen. There's not going to be a flood. And that's horse pucky, right? Like Noah wasn't able to get them to see it, but he could warn them about it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's our job to do. I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm
to
just
speak
like
the truth. I mean, it's
yeah,
not complicated. I mean,
no,
anybody who wants to know and find out and know the truth for sure. I mean, it take you 10, 15 minutes to see, at least to get you where you start looking at more and more evidence. I mean, this isn't like some really deep, dark, hidden thing. I mean, all the information's out there. They always have the truth out there. It may be harder to find, but it's
yeah,
there. I mean, if you're
yeah,
too dumb to question anything, because we're raised not to question, just the opposite of what the Bible tells us to do.
that's
You know,
right,
the Bible says, "Search all things." Well, we don't. We just accept all things.
right.
You know, so I mean, if we just quit being so stupid and actually literally start doing what the Bible says, the stuff is clear, right? I mean, easily known, easily.
Yeah, that's what's so crazy to me about it is that these things are obviously true and provable. Like yeah,
Well,
I'll
it's just
get
like this.
so
Like when you go back to what you're saying about the prophets and the apostles, when they were speaking this truth, it was obvious to them too. I
right.
mean, they whole cities would turn on them, an entire,
Yeah,
not one person, and they were speaking obvious truths, Steve. So I mean, why wouldn't that happen today?
it is happening. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly. So I don't know
That's
what you're trying to get at there.
okay, so this is what I was trying to get at, right? Like one, it was kind of a trip for me to realize that like wow, each of us, all of us were intentionally created with our own character and our own story and our own sophistication. I was like that to me that was beautiful. It wasn't nothing new, but it was beautiful to think about it. And then number two, that like the story is written so we do have like the benefit of knowing the end, right? Which is cool. I thought was like we're at this end part, right, where we have the whole story, and not only that, but we have ways of finding out, like with the technology the way it is now, we have ways like uncover some of the stuff that the devil's doing, which is like a huge benefit. It's a burden, but
Absolutely.
it's a benefit too. And but like so I was thinking that all that was beautiful, but then I'm thinking like am I supposed to be like going to like because there's certain people I go to and show stuff to and they get it all in one day, like just, oh yeah, I see it, wow, that's crazy, but like most of the time it's like a struggle, right? And so like I'm thinking, well, maybe that's not my job to like pull them out. I mean, I speak the truth because that's what I owe everybody, right? Is the truth. But like maybe I'm just supposed to encourage people to get close to God because it's becoming that time. And because I was feeling like sometimes, especially like back when I first started getting into flat Earth, maybe not so much now because I've learned my lesson, but like that I'd be like wanting to tell everybody to the point where I'm like forcing these videos, like you have to see this. Just one, because like I have family members, right, that I've been asking to watch videos for 3 years, 4 years, right, and they won't watch one video from me no matter what I say, right? Like, do this if you love me. I have $87 in my pocket. I'll give you everything. I mean, I've tried everything, right?
Right.
like I've tried everything, right? And like maybe my job isn't to do that. Maybe my job is to just say, like, try to encourage people, say, hey, I'm gonna use my credibility instead of for this to just say, hey, you know what? I'm thinking that we're getting close to the end and it's really, really a good idea to get closer to God and to really appreciate what He's given us, which is paradise, and none of us deserve it, none of us deserve it. And so it does sound funny to some people when they say, "Oh, believing in Jesus sounds like just saying like magic words and you get heaven." Well, no matter what you have done in your life, you would never earn it. So
Right.
your works doesn't matter. Of course, it sounds too easy because it is, because it's a gift. For us, it's easy, but God had to sacrifice the most He could sacrifice,
Well, all you gotta do
right?
is look at it like this. If
Yeah,
you give your son a birthday present, how much work did he have to do to get it?
yeah, none.
Accept it.
And it was
That's the
our
same with
joy to give
salvation,
it.
right? All you have to
Yeah,
do is accept it. You have to accept Christ's crucifixion.
yeah,
What he did for us. It's a gift. It's not worked. It's a free gift if you choose it. Now your son, if you give him that birthday present, he doesn't want it, he could say no, Dad, and give it back to you and not even open it. That's his choice. And it's
that's
the
right.
same with salvation. That's the same choice you have. It is that simple. Either you
It is.
receive it or you reject it.
That's right. I know that like I've been guilty of this kind of at the beginning of like my like real serious walk with God is like I just felt like I just owe God so much, like I don't want to let Him down because I know how valuable that salvation is, that like I feel like I'm not good enough to go, and I have to know that I'm not, right, at the same time of knowing that I'm gonna go. So
Right.
it's like a weird way of like I gotta feel confident that I'm gonna go because I know that Christ's sacrifice is sufficient for me to go to heaven. That's the ultimate thing, right? But I also got to know that I'm not good or better than anybody, or worse for that matter, because like like what we do as human beings is like I can compare myself to another human being and say, "Oh, okay, well, according to how humans go, that person is probably a better person than me, right?" But compared to God, right? Neither of us are good, and the gap between the two of us is minute to holy. It's like God is holy. That's a huge gap between God
Yes.
and me, right? And so it's the same like God and Charles Manson is a huge gap too. But the difference between me and Charles Manson might be huge on earth, right? But like to God, it's very minute. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
we're both of us are not good, you know? And so like that's hard for some people to grasp.
Well, the
And
Bible sums it up. It says there is no one righteous. No, not
okay,
one. Not one.
right.
You know,
And
I
our
mean,
best
that's,
works are dirty rags, our best
yeah.
work.
No, I mean, it's that
Yeah,
simple. I mean, all you got to
it
do is
is.
just read those couple of verses and accept that and know it's true, or God wouldn't have said it.
I'm
I
so
mean,
grateful.
it's that basic. I mean, you only can get, God says, unless you become like one of these little children, you can't get to heaven because you just got, that's how we just, and that does, and what that means is you just got to be innocent, not innocent, but, a little bit, a little child.
Humble, very humble.
Yeah, yeah, you just got to be like that. You don't have to be wise or, or some great
Know
thing.
the
Just,
answer to
just be
everything.
innocent and sweet like a little child, like a
Yeah,
babe. And that's who'll go to heaven. Because it's that easy.
it
A
is.
child relies on you for everything, and that's what we need to do. Rely on God for everything. And when
Yeah,
we don't and think we have everything under control, is when you lose everything because you have nothing.
right. That's it. That's exactly it. And see, I think so many of us, like especially Americans, maybe the whole world, who knows, right? But like I only know kind of based on where I am
Right,
in life.
right.
Is it a lot of us fall victim to that depression, right? Thinking, oh, I'm not good enough. My life isn't that good, or it could be better, or I don't have enough, or that person has more, right? It's easy to fall into those little victimhoods, right? Which helps nobody, right? But like without God, that's where you kind of fall. Like it seems.
But if you're a Christian and you keep harping on things like that, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy. I mean,
Then
you
you're not
really
good.
are a babe in the Lord and need to grow up. Because to sit
That's
there and
right.
dwell on something like that, already knowing, no kidding, you're not good enough. I mean, you
Right.
just have to put that behind you. Anybody,
Yeah.
to dwell on that and harp on that, all that does is weaken your walk with God.
It
And
does.
it's a stumbling block, and it'll keep you from leading others to Christ. It's that simple. I mean, no, none of us are good enough, period. Okay, move on, get on with it.
Yeah,
Okay,
I agree with
he tells us that you're not good enough. Okay, be done with it. He gave us a gift. Accept it or don't.
that. And
Once
it's
you
just
accept it, move forward. No looking back.
that's right.
You
Well,
know,
and it's just so amazing
hey,
thinking
bro.
about this.
Yeah, gotta run.
Oh, you got to go? Okay,
Yep,
well, hey, could you put this up? Will
I'll
that be
try.
cool?
Yeah, but I gotta run, man. I'll,
Okay,
I'll
yep, no
holler back.
problem. Love you, brother.